Okay, so welcome to our ZMY Align class. I'm going to actually get you a strap and a block because we might be using that. And these get sprayed and sanitized, so you're good. I mean, I just touched them, but my hands are sanitized. Yep, just leave it off to the side and I'll let you know if we have to use them. So let's go ahead and start by lying down on our backs. And actually, let's take it one step further. Here's what we're gonna do. Sit back up. I forgot. You'll get to lay back down. I forgot I wanted you to put your legs up the wall. So, you know, you can kind of just scoot your mats to the wall to have some cushion. And what you're gonna do, let me move my tea out of the way. You just wanna scoot your butt up to the wall like this, and then you're gonna lie down. Bring your legs up. Sometimes it takes a little scooching and maneuvering to, you know, get comfortable. If your hamstrings are tight, you might be further away from the wall. If your hamstrings are nice and open, your sitting bones might be right up next to the wall. Yep. Good. How's this? Good? Okay. Yeah, your hamstrings are nice and open. Go ahead and put your hands on your belly. And you can close your eyes if you like. You don't have to. And just begin to notice how your breath is today. We've been talking all week about, you know, the things that we celebrate going into the spring season. And whatever it is that we do celebrate, it's about coming back to life. It's about renewal. It's about rebirth and birth. So this is something I want you to think about while you're on your mat. If you've done these poses a bunch of times, look at your practice with new eyes. And if you haven't done these poses a bunch of times, maybe look at your body with new eyes, or your breath with new eyes, or just yourself in general. The way to make those small changes and shifts are finding that space where we have the choice to either react or respond. And sometimes it's just a slight moment, but we do have a choice in that moment to begin to respond. Getting out of the habits and into new grooves. I want you to just continue to take deep breaths here, feeling the belly rise as you inhale and carrying that inhale up to the chest. And exhaling, just letting everything fall towards the spine. You're going to start to feel, if they're not already starting to tingle or feeling some sensations in the legs, this is normal. We're just going to breathe through this. Even if you don't have swollen legs or tired legs or varicose veins and things like that, your body is getting nourishment from having the legs above the heart. You're giving the cardiovascular system a break from having to work against gravity. You're shifting into a rest and digest mode for your nervous system. We're going to take just one or two more breaths here, and we're going to start to move the legs, but we're going to move them slowly and with super focused mindfulness. And I'll talk you through each step. So on your next exhalation, start to bend the knees one at a time. So your feet are flat on the wall. And I want you to feel the things that happen in the legs as you move them. Feel the bottom of the foot on the wall. And then we'll take a couple of breaths here, just noticing what happens or how the blood flow and circulation feel at this point. And then if it's comfortable to do so, once your heels are slid closer down towards the body, you can bring the feet, the bottoms of the feet together and open the knees out to the side. So kind of like in butterfly legs. Yep, and let your heels drop as close to the body as you can. And notice any changes here. Trying to stay with the breath, but also feeling what's happening in the legs. One more deep breath. And then you'll use your hands on the outsides of the knees to bring the knees together, and you're gonna slowly roll onto your side, being present for every moment as you roll onto your side. And again, feel what changes in the legs. There's all different levels of tingling. Just use your arm as a pillow. Yep. And then go ahead and push yourself up. So we're going to come up to a seated position. Oh, the floor. Oh, isn't it? So did you feel like it was different each time, right? Yeah, I like that. It can be uncomfortable, but also like sitting with the discomfort is important because then our brain learns to sit with discomfort off the mat. And you guys can push your mats away from the wall now, so you have more room. I always like those shiny mats. Like that's a really pretty mat. And I know that's because that's a Life For Me mat, right? Is it called Life For Me? It's still like a good sticky mat, right?
Not as good as the sticky one.
Really? Yeah, yeah. I always have these thin mats. So I had mean teachers and they made me have skinny, thin mats. No. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna start with the legs forward. Grab your strap if you need it. Yeah, even if you don't need it. I'll change my mind a lot, especially if I know you won't need it. Okay, around the top of the foot here, this is the ball of the big toe. So the ball of the big toe and the pinky toe, that's what we're aiming for. Keep the feet flexed. We're gonna have a strap in each hand. Push the legs into the floor to activate them. So it's like you're pushing the back of the knees into the floor. But then also, if the heels start to lift, start to rip the mat apart with your feet. Yep. Because your knees hyperextend, you're not going to push your knees to the back of the mat. You're going to more rip the knees. And yours are actually, she hyperextends her dang knees too. Gosh, we need Melina in this class. Then we could have all three of you, and then I could just give the same cues to all of you. Okay, how do your heels feel because this is an Align class. We get really deep into this kind of stuff. You're good? Okay, so it feels like you're ripping them out apart with the thighs, which helps with the heels. Does it help with the heels?
Yeah, if I push. Like
it makes you use more muscle.
But it's more like this.
What if you relax your knees a little bit? Because you have to have the quadriceps engaged. You're gonna see, this is why it's, this is why it's more difficult to have that. So what happens when you try to just drop your heels towards the mat? What muscles do you have to work harder at? This is a really creepy view because I'm literally watching the bottoms of your legs go beyond 90 degrees. Yes.
That's scary.
Yeah. It should be the outer thigh, and that's an area that we're working on for strength, right?
Right.
Okay. So when you rip the mat apart with your thighs, are you feeling that? And then engage the quadriceps more. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Dang it. All right, so inhale, get tall, lift your spine, and then lead with your heart here. So your heart is aiming towards your shins. Chin is aiming towards the shins. You're just hinging forward and only go as far as the body will let you, which means your back will stop you, your hamstrings will stop you. Take a couple of breaths here. And stay here, don't let go. Now engage or lift the pelvic floor. All four corners of the pelvic floor lift up, and then gather at the lower belly in and up, and see if that helps you tip forward a little bit more. Inner edges of the shoulder blades are drawing towards each other and the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Take some breaths here, in and out through the nose. It doesn't matter where you're looking, just find one spot and stare. That's your focus point. That's what we call drishti. Soften the shoulders. Literally, the muscles under your armpits and your rib cage are doing all of the work here. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, release. You can let the strap go too. Now we're gonna do it like this. And so if at any time your back feels compressed, you can roll up the back of your mat and stick it under your sitting bones. All right, so I did a full practice this morning. I did Mysore this morning. So I did all of that. And now I'm feeling this as I do this. All right, so trick, get the skin or the meat away from your sitting bones, like literally lift your butt cheeks up. There's no nicer way to say that. Just get the meat away. Okay, again, pressing the legs into the floor. What happens when you do it here? The heels stay down, or are you pressing, you're engaging here more? Okay, well that works. No breeze under the knees. So I think you actually have some room to spare. You can press even more and then flex the feet. Yep, that's good. Okay, so hands behind you, lift the chest. Notice a tilt in the pelvis, right? We're gonna kind of just roll our sitting bones forward and get that tilt as much as we can, and then keep that tilt and maybe come here. If you feel like you start to collapse here, then you can stay back here and take your breaths. Otherwise, start to walk forward. And then see if you can reach the outsides of the feet, Alexis. How are you feeling here as you flex? You're good? Yeah, you're pretty tight right here. So you're probably gonna stay right here and just breathe. And that's gonna strengthen all kinds of stuff in your back. Grab the outsides of the feet. Like that, like right here. And then just keep inhaling and lifting. And then as you exhale, chin to the floor. Shoulders back. And if your back gets tired after a few breaths, you can bring your hands back here too, because I know forward folds are actually really difficult. The more you engage your legs, the more your chin will get closer to the floor. So this is something that you'll work on, Alexis, especially with the Ashtanga, the primary series. Okay. And here's another cool thing. Like most people don't bring 2 straps. Go ahead and come all the way. Most people don't bring 2 straps to class, but you can, if you want 2 straps, you can do this, you know, or sometimes holding on to something and pulling yourself forward. Or sometimes, you know, if you're doing partner yoga, the feet touch and then you do one of these. If somebody's behind you pushing, there's, like if we get down, dig into this with like a workshop style, you can put the straps around the hip creases here. Somebody's pulling you this way and somebody's pulling you this way. And that feels really good, actually. It feels like really good support. Now that we've done this for a really long time, Use your hands underneath your knees to help lift up. Remember, those transitions can cause injuries. And then just kind of bounce the knees around a little bit. We went from hardest to easiest. Doesn't mean this is easy, but when you're ready, go ahead and bend the right knee and drop it out to the side. Anytime you're doing a forward fold, adjust the meat away from your sitting bones. And then for this, you can try it without the strap because you won't always have a strap, or you can try it with the strap again. Foot is flexed. And I know for me, the deeper I go into my hamstrings, the more I want to move my foot. And you always want to think like, how would I be standing on the floor? I wouldn't be standing on the floor with all of my weight on this side to be balanced. So I have to press the ball mount of this big toe to actually even out what is going on in my leg. Okay, so the left leg is engaged. How is it with one leg for you? Same?
I don't feel as engaged.
Okay,
Just to keep my foot up.
yeah, because even
My
here,
wrist will
yeah, engaging without lifting. So it's harder for you to engage. Have you tried ripping the mat apart even though you have one leg bent? Okay. Okay, like the other things that we could,
I'm just weird.
no, you're not an anomaly. Trust me, you're not. Some other things to do, I mean, it's clearly because of the knee. So, you know, some things are forcing a micro bend and then engaging, like sticking a blanket under there, but that might be too much. So there's different ways we can play with it. All right, here we go. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, walk the fingertips forward. Keep the left leg engaged. And then at the same time, shoulders are back. Yeah. And if you feel like you can reach the foot, reach the foot. If you can't reach the foot, that's totally fine too. You can grab the outside of the thigh. Oh, you got it. Go ahead and grab the other side. Okay, so now for both of you even, this part, soften it away from the ears, like deep in the armpits. Yep. Are you okay if I touch you? Okay, so right here, we're just gonna soften and then you're gonna engage more here. So draw this back. Yes, can you hold that? Yes, good. And I mean, you're good, but you can't, like, you feel how tense that is. Wow, you hold a lot of stress there. Jeez. Okay, reach for your foot. Yeah, keep this wide. Not one that's supposed to be tight all the time. Okay, so engage here. Yes, keep that. One more breath. Inhale, look up at your foot, and then exhale, release. All right, other side. Bend the left knee. How did that feel? Because you're actually pretty flexy. Good? Okay. So this is an external rotation of one leg. And then, you know, so we're opening this hip and then we're strengthening this side. So remember all of the things. Sitting bone, foot, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. You might be different on this side. You might be the same. Instead of focusing on the foot, focus on the shoulder girdle. So trapezius will take over. See if you can, let me feel mine here. They should not be rock hard for sure. They should be squishy. Yeah. So as far as engagement, because yours might just be tight anyways, you know, but the, gosh, why can't I think of the name of these muscles between the ribs right now? Doesn't matter, this stuff. Go ahead and fold forward. And pay attention to the, yeah, that was a good adjustment, Alexis. That was spot on. And remember, engaging the abdominals is going to help you with this. And also, whatever muscles you do feel in your back, use them to press your body forward. So the muscles in your back are actually helping you fold forward too, at a certain point. Go ahead and inhale, look up, and then exhale, release. Good. Okay. Bottoms of the feet together, and then knees come out to the side, kind of like what we did on the wall here. You want to keep your hands on your ankles, at least while you're like adjusting and bringing your feet closer. And then you can inhale. Let me take that back. When you come down in this, whether you come down a little bit or you come down a lot, the elbows are always going to be on the insides of the thighs. And you're focusing on, you know, the neck stays long, and this is how your spine stays long. So your elbows are actually resisting the legs and helping the shoulders stay out of the ears. Okay. Heart comes forward first. So inhale, get tall, and then exhale, chin to the floor. Just kidding, chin towards the floor. Good. And your feet can peel apart too. Let them peel apart. And your legs can go down as far as they want. Use the muscles in the legs to press down. Good. Now inhale and come all the way up. What does your shirt say? It is funny. Okay, inhale, lengthen. Now we're going to press the navel towards the spine. We're going to make a C with our spine, still pressing the elbows into the legs, but also dropping the top of the head towards the feet as much as we can. This is not just a stretching pose. This is a strengthening pose. So use the muscles in your body to help the top of your head get closer to your feet. It's never the goal to get there, but you do want to challenge your body to see where you are. And breathe. Once you arrive at your edge, breathe. Keep the engagement in your belly to protect the lower back. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. And then inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, use your hands to bring the knees back together. And then we're going to come to hands and knees. Okay, so warming up the spine here with our cat pose or our Vidalasana, you're going to have the knees hip width apart. We're going to have the wrist creases lined up, fingers spread, and we're pressing the palms. So we have these, we have other locks that we do in the body, and the palms are one of them. It almost feels like you're suctioning, but you're not lifting the hands. You know, it's kind of a weird sensation. Just be sure for now that your wrist creases are parallel to the front of the mat. Good. And then yes, you both have the elbows as well. So once we go up, very likely you'll have to keep on I'm trying to remember if I told you on the down when we had our thing. We'll find out when you both go up. So when we come up into down dog, we're not like here. We're rotating so the inner elbows are facing towards each other, but they're not like totally facing out and they're not totally facing towards each other. There's like an in between. Okay. And really, once you go up, you shouldn't feel any pressure here and really in your wrist either, at least, you know, not after a while. You want to use those same engagement muscles around here and the shoulder blades. Go ahead and curl the toes under and then lift the hips up and back. So once your hips are up towards the ceiling, go ahead and line up your ears with the inner arms. Good. Yep, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just adjust you here. Yep, perfect. Now line up your ears, drop your head to there. Is this okay? Yeah. And then we're gonna press here, here, keep pressing hard into the mat with that. You can come down at any time. Try to take a couple of breaths here. That's really good. Okay. You already did, are you doing the micro bend already? Yes, you are. And we're gonna do this. Bring your feet in a little bit. Planner, you can come out down to your knees. You're okay. Are you gonna make it? Okay. All right, go ahead and come down to your knees. We're gonna come into child's pose from here. So knees apart, big toes together, sit back on your heels. A couple of options for the hands. You can have the forehead touch the mat. Reach the fingertips forward. If you're reaching the hands forward here, I want you to activate the arm. So press the hands into the mat. As you're pressing the hands into the mat, you'll sit back on the heels. Good. And even here, soften the shoulders, meaning shoulders away from the ears, because you're both kind of crunched up into the ears right now. Yeah. Are you able to press the hands without using the neck muscles and using the rib cage muscles instead? And take another breath here. We decided we're gonna have like not a bingo game, but like a punch card, or like every time we hear train, that means you don't have to do boat pose in class. All right, inhale, look up. We're gonna walk the hands to the right. Walk the hands to the right as far as you can. So I think you're both far enough away from the wall. So you're gonna walk the hands to the right, reach with the left arm, and then soften towards the floor. You're just gonna be getting deeper into the back here. Do you feel a stretch? It can just actually just follow. So just keep walking this way, and then it'll just kind of, the elbow can bend and all of that. It's just getting in the way. And then inhale, lift, and then go ahead and start to walk in the other direction. So the entire spine is moving to the left, and then just soften. You don't have to touch the floor, you're just softening towards the floor so you can kind of start to feel this twist in the lower back. And then inhale, come up, walk back to center. Good. All right. We actually did not do our Betalasana. We went up into down dog. So let's do the cat pose now. Knees hip width apart, line up the hands. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, and then lift the chin. Even here, notice what you're doing with your shoulders, okay? Away from the ears. And then as you exhale, lead with the tailbone to tuck and drop the head. And then go back and forth on your own. Eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. You can move around a little bit. You can drop the shoulders a little bit. I've seen some people on YouTube get really crazy with this. Like, have you ever seen the people do like, I'm actually the wrong direction for the camera. Anywho, have you seen them do like some crazy like barrel rolls with their body and stuff? Just really, like if I were to see that as a new person, I'd be like, I can't do that. All right, a couple more inhales and exhales here. The point is really just to move with the body and then keeping the spine mobile, flexible. It does both. And so let's go ahead and come back to a flat back where we started. We're gonna bring the right leg forward. You're gonna have a couple of options here. So with the right leg forward, just go ahead and bring your hands up onto the thigh. Have your block nearby. I don't think you'll need this, but just in case, put it on the inside of the foot or near the foot. Just take a couple of, like take a deep breath in, exhale forward, stretching out the hips. Inhale back, exhale forward. And then inhale back, exhale here. Inhale your arms up. And then as you exhale, you're gonna rotate to the right. Arms are going to the right. The elbow is gonna come to the outside of the left knee. So you'll bring your hands together. Yep. Yes. And you can always scoot your foot further, like, yeah, just to give your hips more room to balance and see how that goes. Yep. Go ahead and bring your elbow. Good. Is that better? Good. There's always modifications. Okay. One more breath here. Just stare at a spot on the floor or wherever. Squeeze your thighs towards each other. We're going to look down at the foot and then bring your left hand to the inside of the foot. If your inner edge starts to lift, you can walk it away or use your block. And then right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can curl the back toes under and straighten the back leg. You don't have to do this though. You're squeezing the thighs towards each other either way. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Belly is engaged. Good. Take one more breath. Micro bend this. Yeah. All right, look down at your foot and then bring your right hand down. You can move your block out of the way. And then you're just gonna bring this right leg back, left leg forward. Come up onto your thigh. Was it much more difficult having to bend the elbow like that?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. Rule of thumb. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, your body. Yes, you do. Well, I mean, and honestly, we don't, I mean, unless you're doing this stuff all the time, like every day, you're even recognizing all the different things. Okay, so inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And then inhale back. Exhale here. Inhale, reach up. And then as you exhale, rotate to the left. Your right elbow will go to the outside of the left knee. Just use your breath to help you balance. Find a spot to stare at. Draw the shoulder blades flat down the back and towards each other. Good. Squeeze the thighs towards each other. And then go ahead and look down at the floor. Bring your right hand to the inside of the foot. See if, yeah, and if you don't, you might not need your block. Bring the left fingertips up. You'll know if you need your block because your foot is lifting or you're not able to keep the knee straight over the ankle. If you want to get crazy, go ahead and straighten the back leg. Everything is really engaged here still, either way. Take one more breath. Look down at your foot, bring both hands down. That's just to catch your balance and then come back to hands and knees. Okay. So rule of thumb is when you're bearing weight on your hands and it's below the collarbones, your shoulder is going to be rotating in. So that's going to bring your elbow, inner elbow inward. And yours just goes super flat. Let me see what yours do too, just so I know. Like, go ahead and put your hands here. And so when the elbows, inner elbows are pointing out, that's an external rotation of the shoulders. And then see how far you can go in. Okay, yeah, I figured as much. Yours would go super far in. Because it's really, when you're doing that work though, do you feel it more in the shoulder? Because this is just a sign of what the shoulder is doing. Okay, because it does, I would actually just try to find that middle point. Yep, because it doesn't even have to go in all the way. And if you're paying attention to the shoulders and the engagement in the back and the muscles, I mean, I don't have super flexy, hyperflex joints. So I'm trying to think, because it really is a safety thing. Like if you're like this, yeah, doesn't matter. There's no way for you to internally rotate and have the elbow be out still. So yeah.
Like when you tell us that your femur back up in your side.
You're like, yes. You're like, I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it. Yes, it is. It's like minor stuff. And super, obviously, those are like big joints to like pay attention to, but it's, yeah, it's.
But you notice the difference after
Yes. Yeah. And it really is. You're trying to remember so many things, eventually it just becomes habit and you're like, do, 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 do. And you just stack everything up and then you're like, wait, but now I have to breathe. Okay. All right. Since we already went over the down dog a little bit more detailed, see if you can remember the feeling. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back. And this time we're going to just pedal the feet out as we draw the ears to the inner arms. And really be sure you're pressing the roots of the fingers because that shows me that your shoulders are doing the work and not the wrists and the elbows. Good. And take another breath or two. So can I brag about you for a minute, Flannery? Go in your down dog. This is like her first yoga class. Can you believe your down dog is like incredible? It is incredible. I mean, I've been working for 20 years to have a down dog like that. Seriously. Isn't it good? That was really good. Okay. Sorry. I hope that wasn't embarrassing. All right. So come back up. And then you're going to look up at your hands and start to walk forward. So just start to walk forward and then exhale, fold. Don't worry. We're not really going into detail about this right now. Just press all four corners of the feet into the mat, slightly bend the knees and keep a flat back here. We're not going to round the back as we inhale and come up. We're going to use the strength of our back to help us actually lift up. So nice and slow, bring the arms all the way up, palms together. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Just be sure you're not feeling like you're going to pass out. And then we're good to go. Okay, so take your strap. Keep that near you and then keep your block near you because we're going to take a wide stance. The first thing that we're going to use is the block. And we're going to put it right where our face would be if we were to fold over. Let me get rid of this rug for a minute. Okay, so anytime we're doing the forward fold, we're gonna go down 2 times and then we're gonna bring our feet together and do a forward fold 2 times that way too. It's the same concept as sitting down and folding forward. We're just in a different relation to gravity here, right? So the legs have to be strong, like you're pressing back, except if your knees lock out, then you're gonna feel more, and this just takes practice. Get the inner edges of your feet to be straight first. Take a nice wide stance. And then press the ball mounds of the big toes. These things here that we were pressing out of when we were sitting down. And then it's not pushing the knees back. It's lifting the kneecaps like you're squeezing the thighs towards each other. That's what it feels more like. Bring your hands onto your waist. We're going to inhale and lengthen. And then exhale, fold. As you fold forward, send your hip creases back and your heart forward. And then your hands will just go down to the block. You might not even need it. Yep, go ahead and put your hands right on the block. Good. Go ahead and widen your stance a little bit, Flannery. Yeah. And you're tight there. So is that okay? Like you're feeling it stretch, but it's okay? Okay. So we want to go from like here, do you see my back? To here, lift the sitting bones. Keep the legs good. Now, if you feel like you can keep that and go further down, go ahead. Oh, good. You can probably bring your hands all the way to the floor, actually. Yep. And so both of you look at me real quick. This is what we do with our hands. Once they're flat, our elbows scoop in. We walk our hands back and we push ourselves so our head is tipping towards the floor, and eventually your head will touch the floor. Oh yeah, absolutely. Nope. It will probably take a couple of years to do that. So, and your hands can actually still be shoulder width apart. So separate them just a little bit. Yes, good. Now drop your head. And I'm gonna also bring awareness to you right here again. Your weight is shifting towards the front of your feet. That's gonna help you not lock out your knees as well. And just let the top of your head dangle. Are we good here? Take a couple more breaths. Okay, I won't touch you. Inhale, look up. Bring your hands to your waist as you exhale. And then inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale here. Were your ankles okay though? Because that's improvement. Good. Good, good, good.
Trying really hard not to
Yes.
make sure that my ankles didn't collapse in.
Yeah, you can bring your feet together and take a break.
Do it that, but
So do you feel like you were able to come forward more muscularly?
with my feet or pushing into that. Because before it was kind of like a on my blades,
Yeah. What are your blades?
like
Yes, okay. Yeah, and then so your ankle was rolling out, and then we would go down maybe 3 or 4 times, and by then your ankles are like, help me.
well, yeah, my calves here are just screaming.
Yeah, which is fine. As long if you're doing it in alignment, then your calves will get what they need. That was really good for both of you. All right, go ahead and separate the feet again. My pants are supposed to do this, by the way. So I don't know. COVID just made me not really like leggings anymore. I've been wearing them for a long time and it's part of my uniform, but I'm just totally into like the joggers right now. Doesn't look as, like I don't know if grandmas are supposed to be wearing this kind of stuff, but okay. So now we're going to open up the shoulders a little bit more. So inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the back or the fingers. Okay. Make sure your legs are strong and set up. Inhale, straighten the arms and lift the chest. And then exhale, send the hips back the same way you did before and start to lift the knuckles up towards the ceiling. This is just going to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with your shoulders. Good. And you can go all the way down. Let your head dangle, let the top of the head drop. Keep your belly engaged here. And are you able to lift your hands off your back? Yes. Yep. No, you're good with the way that your fingers were interlaced. Is this your limit though? And that's totally fine. Actively keep trying to get the knuckles up towards the ceiling. You can flip your hands inside out. Yeah, or the other way. Like there's, go ahead and come all the way up. So I know it's weird once you're upside down, and I think I can only do it one way. So we start here. And then here. And yeah, I can't even do it this way, but you were doing it that way, but we want to do it this way. Yeah. No, you had it. You had it.
You just make everything look easy, I think, and I feel my legs like shaking.
Good. Yes, my legs still shake after all this time. So that means they're waking up. They're waking up and joining the party. Okay, go ahead and bring your feet back to it. Don't worry, you'll get another chance to do the hand thing. All right, so we're gonna do the forward folds with the feet together this time. Same thing we did before. I think the sun is coming out a little bit. Just do hip width apart. Okay, hands on the waist. Actually, I don't know, grab your block just in case. When your feet are closer together, your hamstrings have to be, that gets into the hamstrings more. So if your hamstrings are tight, it's more difficult, but I think you'll both be okay. We'll see. Hands on the waist. What we're really focusing on here is engaging the legs. So inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, tip forward. Hinge forward at the hip creases. When your hamstrings stop you, bring your hands down. It might not be the hamstrings. It might be like your IT band. It might be something else here. And then once you feel like you have all 4 corners pressing into the mat, and you feel like you're lifting your sitting bones and you feel like you can hinge forward more with a flat back, go ahead and do that. And then at some point, just drop your head. And bring your shoulders back. Yeah. And then redrop your head. And keep lifting those kneecaps. So your quadriceps are really engaged here and you keep lifting your sitting bones. Good. Take one more breath here. Inhale, look up. So you're just going to look up, lift your head halfway, and then bring your hands to your waist. Now you really have to engage here. Yep, hands all the way up to the waist. And then inhale, come all the way up. Good. It's more difficult, but you both still have it. I mean, you need to know what your flexibility range is too. When we're doing like a sun salutation, which we're gonna do here, you're gonna exhale and fold, but we do it so quickly. It's like, oh, we just like go through the motion. Be sure that you're engaging. You're like, I know that I'm gonna be folding forward, so I'm gonna start engaging, lifting the sitting bones, and then moving with my breath, okay? You'll know what I'm talking about in a minute. All right, so inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, interlace. Inhale, lift the chest, straighten the arms, press the palms together, and then exhale. Bring the knuckles up towards the ceiling. Good. Draw the shoulder blades together and just keep pressing the palms. Keep the legs strong. Keep the abdominals strong. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. How does it feel coming up like that? Does your back feel vulnerable or, okay, so until your back gets stronger, you can bend the knees, okay? As long as we're not coming up like this. Sometimes it's useful to do that with our spine, but you're coming all the way up here, you might as well get stronger, right? Because I'm gonna brush my teeth like this. I'm gonna load the dishwasher like this. If I'm doing those things like this, then I'm gonna hurt myself. All right, let's untell you, this video is no good. All right, so I'm just gonna come to my regular spot. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, we're gonna step back. Yep, just step back like you're gonna come into a plank. And then on the same exhale, we're gonna lower all the way down. Remember that chaturanga thing that we did? Elbows touching the sides of the body. It's so much fun. Tops of the feet are flat. Inhale, lift the head, shoulders, chest. And then curl the toes under and then come into downward facing dog for 5 breaths. And you can do child's pose too if you want. 1, and your feet could be hip width apart. Heels are pressing towards the mat. 2. 3.